time for another Miri message. Yesterday I talked about the difference between I think therefore I am and I feel therefore I am. And just that some of us are wired to feel deeply and we don't like it. So painful to continue to push parts of ourselves away. So for the past few years, my deep processing has been about turning back towards those parts of myself that I have disconnected from, that I have judged, that I haven't liked, that I have repressed. These past few years, it's been all about gently, slowly, well, sometimes not so gently, but slowly turning towards those parts of myself that have been coming up so that I could be with them, be with myself actually in a different way. My path has been one of cultivating tenderness. I've been very tender with lots of people, but I haven't been very tender with myself. So I've discovered how to do that. I can, not how to do that, but that it's already within me, and it was just bubbling up, waiting for me to embrace that path of kindness towards myself and tenderness towards myself, and not beating myself up in the way I always did. And you know what? I was able to do it. Not I was able to, I am able to do it. And while I can't say I'm 100% there, I am so majorly there. So it's possible. It's possible to be living in that place of not judging myself all the time, but just more observing and allowing. Now, one of the reasons that I can allow more and more in my life is because I've really come to this understanding, and yeah, it's not an acceptance, it's an understanding of more of an understanding of the human experience. And this is what I mean. Come in from the spirit world and we decide, yes, I want to see what it's like to be human and I want to have this human experience. Now, having a human experience in a way is a given in the same way that a house has a foundation to it. A car has a specific foundation to it. You have to have the foundation in place in order to have the rest of it. So having a human experience is actually a very specific design. What happened, and I call it the great giveaway. The great giveaway. And the reason I call it the great giveaway is because we're always giving our true self away. At an early age, we come in. At an early age, we come in. Okay, that makes perfect sense. We come in, and at an early age, if you notice, watch little children. We lose our voice. We're not encouraged all the time. Most of us are not encouraged to speak our truth. What we know is not easily and always supported. Our preferences are not supported. Our knowing is for what is good for us and what we want. Well, not really what is good for us. That's not a good word. But what we want is not supported. So here's an easy example. Little kid goes into the ice cream store and there's all these flavors out there, and he's peeking at the counter, and he comes in with his parent, and he's looking very excitedly, and he goes, I want that one. I want that flavor, that color. And the mom goes, oh, sweetheart, I don't think you'll like that. That's vanilla with pineapple chunks, and I'm not sure you'll like that. Let's play with this one today. Let's do this. Let's just get plain vanilla. But mommy, I really want to try that. It really looks interesting. I think I like that. No, sweetheart. Let's just get vanilla. What's the message? I know better than you. You need to listen to me. Now, the child might have a tantrum, but how many times does this play out? Because the parents are bigger and we're beholden to them. We are totally dependent on them. And so the design, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't make a mistake. The design of the human experience is to give yourself away to those who are in quote unquote charge of you. So the little boy looks longingly at that flavor that he wants, takes a deep breath and goes, okay, Mom, maybe you do know better than me. Can you see where this whole thing expands in our lives? The great giveaway. We give ourselves away to our moms, our dads, whoever is taking care of us. We give ourselves away at school to our teachers. How many times have I heard people who come to me for the spiritual coaching and the energy work that I do talk about going to religious school and knowing somewhere inside of them that what they're being told is really not, it's just not congruent with them. But they push, we have no choice but to push our knowing down and away and to live from this false self. False self. Personality comes from the Greek word persona, and it means mask. So all the ways in our human experience that we mask ourselves, all the masks that we wear to please everyone around us. Even if you're a total rebel, somewhere you're still not honoring and connecting in a loving way with that true essence of you. There's still some conflict living in you that's driving you. And we're not meant to live in conflict. But we live in conflict. We live in conflict from the truth of who we are in the sense of what wants to be expressed, how we want to be in this world, the voice that we want to have, and that energy, that large overriding energy that socializes us, that helps us become part of our family, our tribe, all the beliefs that we take on. All the beliefs that we take on, consciously and unconsciously. It's the design of it. But the gift and the exciting part is, because I mask myself very well, I know all about the pain of that great giveaway. But the exciting thing is, one day the mask and the shell began to crack in me. And I didn't know exactly what was happening. But I had no choice. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And for me, it was years and years later, I see that the shell, the mask, was cracking. And the cracking, even though it was uncomfortable at times, was in order that I would be allowed, I don't like that word allowed, in order that I would be able to birth my true, unique expression of the divine forth in this body, in this form, in this lifetime, and live my life where I was no longer giving my truth, giving my energies, my essence away for everyone else, so that they would accept me, love me, like me, and whatever else is on your list. The good news is it's possible. It's possible to release all that programming, or enough of it, so that you can live in joy. Conflict inside of us creates disease. It creates diseases of all varieties. Choice. Simple choice. Create new neural pathways. Here's an example. This morning I went for a walk around the pond. I love to walk around the pond. And you know, I'm so humbly and gratefully shown that the wounds that we have, the deep wounding does not necessarily leave us 100%. Someone once asked me in a session, does the scar, the wounding ever totally go away? And I said, I really don't think so. But the scar, even though it's there, it's no longer painful the way it was. And it's a gentle reminder for me to be compassionate and present for myself and for everyone else, because we're all doing the very, very best we can, and we're all living our own perfect design. So this morning I'm out walking at the pond, and yesterday my video was about how I had overcome this deep struggle around worry and anxiety for my children and then my grandchildren, and feeling like I was somehow responsible for assisting my children in raising their children. Responsibility, let's just use that as an overall umbrella. I was somewhere responsible to speak up about something. And I thought I was pretty much done until this morning. I'm watching myself walk around the pond and think about something with my granddaughter. And I realized how I was going back and forth in my head. And I realized I had walked halfway around the pond, only in my head, thinking, what should I say? How should I say it? Is it my business to say it? What do I do with this discomfort, that I'm feeling? And halfway around the pond, I stopped and I thought, oh my God, I'm missing the whole beauty of the pond. I'm missing the trees, and I checked in with my body from the neck down. And I said, okay, where in my body am I feeling this concern, this worry about my granddaughter? And it came up that where I was feeling it mostly was in my third chakra, my solar plexus, my sense of power, personal power, and okayness. That's what that chakra is about. I can. I can. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I can. Yes, I can. That's the third chakra energy. So I was conflicted. Can I say something? Should I say something? Can I not say something? Anyway, I noticed the energies, and all I did was give them my full attention. And I allowed myself to breathe. Breathe with that, it felt like a little trembling in that chakra. And I just allowed it to be. I didn't go into the story. I didn't look any further for the explanation. I'm giving you much more information that I gave myself at the time. I just noticed the energy, and I noticed some trembling. And as I breathed with it and allowed it and noticed it, what happened was my whole beingness just kind of opened, and the energy dissolved. That tension, that little bit of tension and contraction just dissolved. And I continued to walk around the pond now, paying attention to the trees and the ducks and the geese and the birds. And then, to be honest with you, a little while further, I noticed that I'd gone back into my head. And I thought, I'm not going there. And I continued my walk, saying thank you to all the different varieties of trees. Thank you to the grass and the concrete under my feet. Thank you to this life. Thank you to this amazing, glorious life of great opportunity to see what is possible. What are we here truly to create? What else is possible? You have a choice. The old patterns are coming up for us to look at them, allow ourselves to feel the emotion that is there from the beingness, that's a capital B, of who we are. And when we can do that now, we can release the structure that's been in place, that's been holding us. And it's this structure that's actually been creating your life. And then you have the opportunity to be free of that fear and that limitation and move into the possibility that the divine truly is. Namaste. Choose again. Have a great day. Sat Nam.